Whilst filming this video, I got a little bit curious about what the average UK wedding cost was. So I looked it up, and basically the average cost of a UK wedding in 2020 is a little over £16,000. Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So I am going to talk about wedding finances with you guys today. When you're setting up a wedding and planning a wedding, it's probably one of the most important things that you're going to have to sort out. What can you afford? What can't you afford? How far can you push your budget? Do you have any leeway with your budget at all? It's really, really important to know where you stand financially and what you can do financially. It's also, of course, very, very important to know, how are you going to pay for your wedding? Are you able to put away monthly savings, for example? Or are you going to have to rely a little bit more on things like credit cards? Obviously with finances, it varies depending on obviously your income, what you can afford, what you can't afford, what kind of wedding you're having, what kind of honeymoon you're having, and obviously just how much you want to spend. You will have these elaborate plans in your head of what kind of wedding you would love and what kind of honeymoon you would love, but sometimes your budget and your finances, they have other plans. They're going to sit there and they're going to say, girl. And so you're going to have to compromise, and that is of course normal with the majority of weddings. Unless you're like super rich, compromise is going to happen, and that's what's happened in our case as well. So I'm just going to share with you guys a little bit today about how me and my partner have worked out finances for the wedding. But of course this is just us and how we do our savings. We feel like this is the best way for us to do it. What might be good for us to do may not be good for you guys to do. I have this thing that I like to do pretty much every single month, which is basically to check on the wedding finances. As each month goes by, we do have a clearer understanding of what things are going to cost. Every single month I add up how the wedding savings are going, and I reassess it constantly in my head and on paper too. So for example, this is what I've done literally just this morning actually for February 2021, and this is all of the stuff that we've paid for, and this is all of the stuff that we've still got left to pay for, and then obviously at the bottom is like the end total basically of what we expect the wedding to cost, which of course can change. When you're estimating costs, it's all fine and dandy, but then booking it and actually physically having that solid figure in your head and knowing that solid figure, it's two very different things. Weddings cost a lot of money, and the thing is, as you add more and more things on, you buy more and more things, the cost easily goes from like down here somewhere to like up here somewhere. And it's really, if you're not on the ball and keep checking in on your finances, it's very easy for things to get out of control with a wedding. And obviously it's a lot of money. Me and my partner are having an intimate wedding as well, a small intimate wedding, and it's still costing thousands of pounds. Obviously I recommend before you even book your venue or book anything like that, that you have a vivid idea in your head of, this is what we can afford. You don't want to be booking like this super expensive venue and then thinking, oh my god, I've just calculated my finances and I've suddenly realized I can't pay for it. And then that works the other way around as well. You don't want to book somewhere, compromise on something on like the venue when you don't perhaps need to. At the moment, me and my partner are trying to put away money every month for the wedding, but obviously with a baby on the way as well, it's difficult, but we're doing our best really. We do have aims to put a certain amount of money away each month, and you know, that's the wedding savings, that's for the wedding. So far as of like Feb 2021, we have paid for quite a few things for the wedding, but obviously there's still a lot more to sort out. There's still a few estimated costs in here which eventually will turn to solid figures just as time goes on and we do more research with things and book more. There's all sorts of costs to take into consideration, and sometimes it's things that you may not think of straight away. Like for example, in the UK we have to register our intent to marry, which costs money. We have to pay for provisionally reserving our date with the registrar, which is an extra cost. And then obviously other registrar based costs will vary depending on where you're having your wedding. That's a massive chunk of our cost actually, is registrar, because we're not having a church wedding, so we're having to pay more to the registrar, basically like in attendance fees. There's literally all sorts to try and think of, so I wouldn't blame you if you miss a few things out when you're calculating your rough figures. But as long as you have a vague idea about roughly how much things, or the majority of things, are going to cost, you should be okay. And as long as you thoroughly do your research. This is so far the list of what we have paid for. So we've paid to provisionally reserve our wedding date with the registrar, which was a cost of £34. And then we actually paid our venue package deposit, which was £1,000. Saved a lot of money on invites and save the date cards. We actually got our invites and save the date cards when there was a sale on. So we only actually spent about £5 on invites and save the date cards. We also did buy our cake topper, which was only a few pounds. We have bought some of our favours, but not all of our favours. So far we've spent about £10 on our wedding favours. That will turn out to be a little bit more by the end of it though. £3 on wedding bubbles. Our photographer deposit, basic deposit, was £200, which we've paid for. We also paid a deposit for our honeymoon, which was £142.50. £2 for our wedding guest book. We also purchased these fun little advice cards, you know, to place on the tables for guests to fill in, but they were only a couple of pounds. We managed to catch them out in the sale as well, so we saved money on those. For the groom's suit, we haven't purchased everything for the suit and the accessories, but we've purchased quite a lot actually. So at the moment we've got shoes, shirt, trousers, waistcoat and the blazer, which all of that cost £135.30. We do have the tie and the cufflinks to buy, but other than that, that's the groom's suit done. We also have recently, very recently in fact, just booked the person who's going to be producing our wedding cake, and that was a deposit of £175. We've paid for wedding shoes and bag for me, the bride, and both of those cost £67.99. So far that is roughly the sorts of prices that we've personally paid out for our wedding day. We do have costs here in the to pay section, which is incredibly large at the moment, I will say so. So I mentioned earlier about registrar fees being quite bulky. We have to pay the rest of our registrar fees, and that whole entire cost, the rest of it, is £546. So that's quite a big bulk of wedding costs, but obviously a massive chunk of that is just the attendance fee, because we're not having a church wedding. The rest of our venue package at the moment, it stands at £880. The rest of the wedding favours, I feel as though we may spend another £15 to £20 on them. Bride dress and accessories, I kind of do estimate it at £700 to £1,000 for my dress and the accessories. Groom accessories, the cufflinks and the tie, I'm not too sure. I'm thinking maybe about the £20–30 mark for that. The rest of our photographer fees at the moment stand at £395, but that could be a little bit more because at the moment we have a package where we only have him for a little tiny portion of the day, and we may want to extend that in the future. We still need to buy my partner's ring. My bridal ring has already been purchased. It was part of a set when he purchased my engagement ring, but at the moment we're thinking it could possibly be £300–500ish, something like that. I need to get both my wedding ring and my engagement ring adjusted. So if you guys look behind here, I have that kind of stuff on the back of it there to thicken it up, to make it tighter so it doesn't come off. I'm thinking the cost of that may be around £100, but it may be more, it may be less. The rest of our honeymoon, this is another big bulk of our cost. The rest of the honeymoon is going to cost a little over £1,000, 1,017.50. The rest of the wedding cake we're not too sure because we need to schedule in a consultation with the cake maker, but the wedding cake could be an extra £275 to £300, so it could cost, I think, altogether about £450 to £500 for the wedding cake. Bride hair and makeup, I'm thinking maybe between the £200 to £250 mark, but again, that's an estimated cost that may change. The venue decorations, I'm really not too sure, because we don't want anything overly grand, overly in your face. We want something really simple so that certain things in the venue stand out. We're thinking maybe £50 to £100 with that, but again, that is a very, very rough estimate that very well will probably change. The night before the wedding, accommodation, for me and my mum, it's going to be about £130, and for my partner and his friend, that's another £130 on top of that. We're going to get an outfit for the little baby, ready when she's born for the wedding, and that may cost between £30 and £50. My partner's son's suit as well, which we're thinking may cost about £50. We also have my nails. I want to get acrylic nails done. You guys know I love getting acrylic nails done. I'm thinking roughly that's going to be about £30 to get that done. And then me and my mum are going for a nice little spa thing, like where we're getting married has a spa as well. So we want to, the day before or whenever we can get fitted in, have spa treatments before the wedding, and we're estimating that to cost about £250. And all of that at the moment comes to a little over £5,000, which is obviously a lot of money. I guess this is just mainly to let you guys know, like, if you're planning a wedding, finances are definitely important, and please keep on track of them. Like, it is a lot of money to be messing around with, that's for sure. So yeah, with that being said, I don't think I have much more to say about wedding finances. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I realise it has been a longer video, so if you've made it to the end, good for you. If you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, and I very much hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.